Alex had always thought he knew his hometown, the same streets, the same houses, the same small park where he and the neighborhood kids used to play. Life was simple, predictable, and safe, or at least as safe as a town on the outskirts of the city could be. But nothing in his childhood had prepared him for what he saw that evening as the sun dipped low in the sky, painting the clouds a burning orange. There, at the edge of the field that had once been a playground, stood a figure that made Alex's heart stop. At first he thought it was a trick of the light, a reflection from the fading sun playing on a stranger's skin. But as he blinked and took a cautious step forward, the figure became clearer. It was a girl. Not just any girl, but someone he remembered from years ago, his childhood neighbor, the girl who had disappeared suddenly when he was 10. He had thought she moved far away, or that life had simply carried her elsewhere. Yet there she was, standing in front of him, and she looked different. Her skin seemed to glow softly, shimmering in subtle shades that changed with every movement. Her eyes were larger than normal, with colors that shifted like liquid rainbows, and her hair seemed to float slightly, as if weightless. But despite these alien traits, something about her posture, the tilt of her head, the curve of her lips, was utterly familiar. I know you, Alex said, his voice barely above a whisper. Do you recognize me? The girl's lips curved into a small, knowing smile. Do you recognize me, human? She asked, her voice strange and musical, carrying a cadence that made Alex's ears tingle. I'm your childhood neighbor. Alex stepped back, his mind racing. You can't be. You're not human, he stammered, his voice cracked. He wanted to run, to deny what he was seeing, but curiosity held him frozen. She laughed softly, a sound that was both alien and comforting.
I have changed, yes, but my heart remembers Earth.
And it remembers you. Alex felt a chill run down his spine, not entirely from fear. There was something in her voice that resonated with a part of him he had long ignored, the part that had always wondered what lay beyond the horizon of their small town, the part that had dreamed of adventures and worlds bigger than his own. I don't understand, Alex admitted. Where have you been all these years? I've been traveling, she said simply, farther than any human could imagine. I learned many things, grew in ways I could not on Earth. But I came back for a reason. There are things coming, things that humans are not ready for. But together, we might stand a chance. Alex's mind spun. Things? Like what? Aliens? Monsters? Government experiments? The words tumbled out in panic, but she simply shook her head. Not monsters, she said. Not exactly, but intelligent threats. Forces that will consume, destroy, and reshape. You humans are strong, but you are naive. I have seen worlds fall because they underestimated the universe. I came to warn you. And to find you. Alex took a cautious step closer, still unsure whether he was dreaming. He reached out slowly, and she mirrored his movement, her hand warm despite the faint glow of her skin. When their fingers touched, he felt something strange, a pulse of energy, almost like recognition, but deeper, something ancient. You remember me? She asked, her eyes locking onto his. Alex nodded slowly. I remember everything. The tree we used to climb, the lemonade we shared, the time you taught me to ride my bike without training wheels. I remember. Her smile deepened, and for the first time Alex noticed the faint scar along her jawline. I remember you too, she said softly. I've always remembered. The sun dipped below the horizon, leaving the sky painted in deep purples and golds. A cool breeze rustled the tall grass around them, carrying a faint metallic scent that Alex couldn't identify. His heart pounded. Something was coming, just as she said, but he didn't yet know what. And part of him was terrified. "You have to come with me," she said. "I cannot face this alone. And you? You are more than you think. Humanity, you humans, you have potential. I have seen it across galaxies. And you, Alex, are special. You can help."
Alex hesitated. Everything he had known about his life, his world, his understanding of reality had been upended in a single evening.
He wanted to question her, to demand proof, to run. But something inside him stirred. A spark of courage he didn't know he had. He remembered his father's words from years ago. Bravery isn't about not being afraid. It's about facing what you must, even when the fear is strong. He looked into her shifting, alien eyes and made a decision. "Okay," he said, his voice steady despite the fear knotting his stomach. "I'll go with you. I'll help. Just tell me what I need to do." She nodded, her expression softening. "We will start small. You will see things you have never imagined, Alex. You will learn to trust your instincts, to think beyond what humans consider possible. And soon, you will understand why I returned." Alex followed her across the field, the familiar landscape now seeming alien under the twilight sky. The trees that had once been ordinary now appeared taller, more imposing, their leaves shimmering faintly as though reflecting a light from another world. The wind carried whispers he could not quite hear, like voices just beyond the edge of understanding. She stopped at the edge of the forest that bordered the field. "Here," she said, and reached out to touch a tree. As her fingers brushed the bark, the wood pulsed faintly, and a small, circular portal opened in the air before them, glowing softly. Alex swallowed hard. That's a doorway?" She nodded. "A doorway to where I have been. Not Earth, but places beyond. This is the first step. You must trust me." He glanced back at the town lights in the distance, at the home he had grown up in, and then back at her. She held out her hand again, her eyes gleaming with warmth and expectation. Alex took a deep breath, steadied himself, and grasped her hand. The moment their hands connected, the portal widened, shimmering like liquid silver, and together they stepped through. For a heartbeat, the world seemed to stretch and twist around him. Colors he had never seen, sounds he could not name, and a strange sense of weightlessness surrounded him. Fear clawed at his chest, but so did exhilaration. When he opened his eyes, they were no longer in the familiar field. Instead, they stood on a platform suspended in a void of stars, galaxies swirling in every direction. Massive structures floated in the distance, glowing with lights that pulsed rhythmically. Alex's mouth fell open. This is real?" he whispered. "It is," she said. "And this is only the beginning. Humanity has faced challenges before, Alex. You will see what makes you exceptional. You have the strength, ingenuity, and courage that many species lack. You can adapt, survive, and inspire. That is why I returned." Alex felt a swell of something deep inside him, a mix of pride, fear, and determination. The universe was bigger than he had ever imagined. And for the first time, he understood that humans were capable of greatness. He could feel it in himself, in the way his heart raced and his mind buzzed with possibilities. I'm ready," he said finally, voice strong. "Tell me what to do." Her eyes sparkled, and she smiled, a mixture of relief and hope. "We start with training, observation, and preparation. There is a threat coming that humans cannot yet comprehend. You will learn, Alex. You will lead. And you will prove that humanity can endure, adapt, and triumph." The stars around them seemed to pulse in response, and Alex realized that he had never truly looked at the night sky before. not really. Now, with the vastness of space stretching in every direction, he felt small, yet powerful. Fragile, yet capable. Human, yet limitless. And with that thought, he stepped forward beside her, ready to face whatever the universe would throw at him. Because for the first time in his life, Alex understood that humans were not just part of the universe. They could shape it, and he would prove it. The first thing Alex noticed about the place they had stepped into was the silence. Not the kind of quiet you get in a library or late at night in a city, but a strange, endless quiet that seemed to hum beneath the surface, like the universe itself was holding its breath. Stars stretched in every direction, and distant structures floated, some like colossal towers of glass, others like living creatures suspended in the void. It was overwhelming, and Alex felt a twinge of fear mixed with awe. "Where are we, exactly?" he asked, keeping his voice low, almost in respect for the strange expanse around them. "This is the observation platform," she said. Her voice, though calm, carried authority. "It is a neutral space, safe from immediate danger. From here, I monitor threats, gather intelligence, and train those I bring from Earth. I have been preparing for years, watching civilizations rise and fall, including yours. Humans are young, but they have promise." Alex swallowed hard. "Promise? You mean hope?" She smiled faintly, a glimmer of pride in her eyes. "Yes, hope, strength, courage, ingenuity. You may not realize it, but humans have something rare, the ability to adapt in ways other species cannot. That is why I chose to return to Earth. That is why I chose you." Alex felt a rush of pride, followed immediately by anxiety. "Me? Why me? I'm just an ordinary guy." "Ordinary?" she echoed, raising an eyebrow. "Alex, do you know what it means to survive 10 years in a world you cannot fully understand? Do you know what it means to be human? Ordinary humans rarely face the unimaginable with a calm heart. But you did, and that matters." He wanted to protest, to tell her he was not special, but before he could, the platform shivered lightly, and a holographic display shimmered into existence in front of them. It was a three-dimensional map of nearby space, pulsing with dots, lines, and shapes moving in ways that made Alex dizzy at first glance. "These are the systems near Earth," she explained. "Some are friendly, some are neutral, and some are dangerous. Very dangerous. And there is movement in one particular sector." She tapped a flashing red dot. "This fleet approaches rapidly. They are not here for diplomacy. They are here to take, to destroy, to subjugate." Alex stared at the display, his mind struggling to process it. "A fleet? Like warships?" "Yes," she said calmly. "And if we do nothing, Earth may not survive, not in its current form. I have been preparing quietly, observing, waiting for someone from Earth capable of learning, adapting, and fighting. That someone is you." Alex felt the weight of her words. The fear that had been fluttering in his stomach transformed into determination. "Then, what do we do? How can I help?" She stepped closer and placed a hand on his shoulder. The warmth of her touch calmed him. "We start with training. You need to understand tactics, energy manipulation, strategy, and intuition. You need to know yourself before you can face them." But first, she gestured to a floating device beside the platform, which projected a small, glowing sphere into the air. "This is a neural interface. It will allow you to experience simulations of the challenges ahead. You will feel, see, and react as if it is real. You will learn without risking your life initially, but nothing replaces the lessons of reality." Alex took a deep breath. His fingers trembled slightly as he reached for the sphere. The moment his hand touched it, a wave of warmth surged through his body, and the world dissolved around him. He felt himself standing in the middle of a battlefield, the air thick with tension. Alien ships hovered above, their weapons charged and glowing. The ground beneath him shook as creatures he could barely comprehend charged forward. "React!" she commanded. Instinct took over. Alex ducked, rolled, and grabbed a small energy weapon floating nearby. He fired at a charging creature, missing at first, then adjusting his aim. Each mistake taught him quickly. His mind began to calculate trajectories, timing, and probabilities. He felt his human instincts sharpen, his body learning at a pace he did not think possible. Hours, or maybe minutes. Time seemed meaningless in the simulation. Passed, and Alex collapsed to his knees, exhausted but exhilarated. The alien girl knelt beside him, her eyes softening. "You learn fast," she said. "Faster than I expected. That is one of humanity's gifts. Your intuition, creativity, and unpredictability are your strength. Others would take weeks to learn what you have learned in moments." Alex looked up at her, sweat on his brow. But it felt real. It was terrifying. I didn't know if I could survive. "You survived," she said simply, "and that is what matters. Fear is natural, but courage is acting despite it. Humanity is full of that courage, even when it is unaware of it. Remember this, Alex. You will need it." The simulation faded, returning them to the floating platform among the stars. Alex's hands shook as he tried to catch his breath. "You will need to practice," she continued. "But now, you will see the first real threat." She stepped to the edge of the platform, pointing toward a distant glowing fleet advancing with terrifying speed. The shapes were massive, armored, and designed purely for destruction.
"They are coming faster than expected," she said. "We cannot wait."
Earth is not ready to defend itself alone. You must learn quickly, Alex. Your ingenuity will be tested. Your humanity will be your weapon. Alex felt his heart hammer in his chest. The enormity of it all pressed down on him, but beneath it, a fierce pride rose. He had always felt small, powerless in the grand scheme of life, but here, standing among the stars with his childhood neighbor, an alien who had seen civilizations rise and fall, he felt human potential coursing through him. "Show me," he said. "Show me what to do. I'll figure it out." "I'll help. I'll fight," she nodded. "Good. Then first we learn their patterns." Humans are brilliant observers. You will watch, analyze, and improvise. That is your advantage. No alien fleet expects unpredictability born from human emotion and thought. You can surprise them in ways they cannot anticipate. Alex studied the approaching fleet, his mind whirring. He noticed the patterns in their movements, the way their energy pulses synchronized, the slight lag when they turned toward each other. His training instincts from the simulation kicked in. He began to formulate strategies in his head, using every bit of human creativity he could muster. "What are they called?" Alex asked. "The ones coming." "They have no name in human terms," she admitted. "To them, we are insignificant. But they are the first real test humanity will face in this sector. Many species have fallen to them. Many worlds are empty shells. You will help Earth survive where others have failed." Alex's stomach tightened, but he nodded. "Then we do whatever it takes." She extended her hand again. "Then it begins." Observation, analysis, strategy, and improvisation. You will learn not just to fight, but to think, to innovate, and when the time comes, humanity will rise. Over the next days, or what seemed like days in the strange flow of time aboard the observation platform, Alex trained relentlessly. Each simulation became harder, each scenario more complex. He learned to coordinate with alien defense drones, predict energy pulses, and anticipate attacks with precision. But more importantly, he learned to trust his instincts and his creativity. The alien girl guided him, offering advice, corrections, and encouragement. She never underestimated him, but she also never held back, pushing him to confront failure, discomfort, and fear. Alex discovered reserves of patience, intelligence, and courage he had never realized he possessed. One day, during a particularly challenging simulation, a scenario unfolded that tested Alex's adaptability in ways he had never imagined. He was placed in a scenario where conventional strategies failed. Enemy ships moved unpredictably, the terrain shifted, and his resources were limited. Panic could have seized him, but he remembered her words. "Your humanity is your weapon," she had said. "Predictable behavior is their strength. Unpredictable, creative action is yours." He improvised, combining tactics from Earth's history with strategies he had observed in the simulation. Using misdirection, timing, and sheer creativity, he outmaneuvered the simulated enemy, turning defeat into victory. The alien girl watched silently, her eyes glimmering with admiration. "You have learned," she said finally. "Humanity's strength is not in raw power alone, but in ingenuity, adaptability, and courage. That is why you will survive, Alex. That is why Earth may survive." Alex felt a surge of confidence. The fear that had gripped him when he first arrived had transformed into resolve. He understood now that humans were not weak. They were underestimated. And that underestimation could be their greatest weapon. From the observation platform, he watched the approaching fleet again. The dots in the distance were no longer abstract threats. They were challenges he could meet. With training, observation, and human creativity, he could turn the tide. "We will not wait," she said, her voice firm. "You are ready for the first real test." But it is time-sensitive. Their approach is faster than anticipated. Earth will face them soon. And when it does, humanity must show what it is capable of. Alex's chest tightened with both fear and excitement. The real battle was coming, and there would be no simulations to prepare him fully. But he felt ready. He felt alive. "Then, let's show them," he said. "Let's show them humans are not to be underestimated." The stars around them seemed to pulse with anticipation. Alex knew the journey had only begun, but for the first time he understood what it meant to be human. Not small, fragile, or powerless, but capable, resilient, and extraordinary. And soon, the universe would witness it. Alex stood at the edge of the observation platform staring at the distant glimmer of the alien fleet approaching Earth. Unlike the simulations, this threat was real. His pulse raced, but beneath the fear, a fire of determination burned. Humanity would not be an easy target. Humans had always fought when cornered. Humans had always survived against impossible odds. And now, he was going to prove it again. "Are you ready?" she asked, her voice calm but firm. Her eyes, those alien eyes that still held traces of the little girl he remembered, studied him carefully. "This is no simulation. This is real. Every choice you make matters." Alex took a deep breath, squaring his shoulders. "I'm ready. Let's do it." She nodded. "Then we begin." They activated a device on the platform that projected a holographic map of the solar system. Earth glowed in the center, fragile and small, while dozens of fast-moving dots marked the enemy fleet advancing rapidly. Alex noted their formations, their clusters, and their gaps. He realized that despite their numbers, the fleet had predictable tendencies, patterns he could exploit. "Humans are unpredictable," she said, reading his expression. "They think differently, act differently, create differently." "That is your strength. They do not anticipate emotion, ingenuity, or improvisation. They expect logic and order from others. Use that." Alex studied the hologram, tracing possible maneuvers with his fingers. He remembered the lessons from the simulations: energy bursts, evasive movements, timing attacks, but he also added human creativity, unpredictability, and intuition. "What about Earth's defenses?" he asked. "Can they help?" She smiled slightly. "Yes, Earth's military is limited, but they are resourceful. You will guide them. They will adapt faster than you expect when given the right strategy." Humans excel when they innovate under pressure. Alex felt a surge of hope. Earth was not defenseless, and if he could combine human ingenuity with her advanced technology and knowledge, they had a chance. The first skirmish began sooner than expected. A small detachment of alien ships broke off from the main fleet and approached Earth's orbit, moving faster than anything humans had ever seen. Alex and the alien beauty guided Earth's orbital defenses. Laser turrets, missile interceptors, and drone fleets fired into the void. Most of the initial attacks failed, either due to speed or sheer alien shielding. But Alex noticed patterns. The ships rotated in a rhythm, their weapons had a recharge delay, and their formation relied heavily on coordination. "Target the gaps!" Alex shouted, pointing at the hologram.
Their left flank recharges slower. Focus there.
"Use drones to distract the center while missiles hit the sides." The alien beauty nodded and relayed his commands to Earth's automated systems. Within moments, drones darted around the enemy ships, creating false targets while missiles and energy pulses struck the slower-moving flank. One by one, the alien ships faltered. Small victories, but victories nonetheless. "Human intuition is remarkable," she said, her eyes bright. "You see things differently, predict differently. That is why I returned. That is why you are here." Alex felt a surge of pride. Fear still lingered, but he realized something important. Humans might not be the strongest species, not the fastest, not the largest, but they were clever, adaptive, and relentless. As the first wave of ships was repelled, the next wave approached, larger, faster, and more coordinated. Alex and the alien beauty monitored their progress, directing Earth's defenses and improvising new strategies on the fly. Each time a plan succeeded, Alex's confidence grew. Each time an attack failed, he analyzed, learned, and adapted. During a brief lull, Alex and the alien beauty observed Earth from the platform. Cities sparkled below, unaware of the war unfolding in orbit. Despite their fragility, Alex felt pride. Humanity had endured famine, disease, natural disasters, and war. Now they would endure the unimaginable, and possibly triumph. "You understand now, don't you?" she said softly. "Humanity's strength is not in perfection, but in adaptation, in creativity, in the refusal to give up. You are part of that now, Alex. You are shaping what comes next." He nodded. "I get it. Humans survive because we refuse to surrender, even when we are outnumbered or outgunned. That's what makes us strong." "Exactly," she said. "And that strength will be tested tonight." The third wave of alien ships arrived, and this time they were accompanied by massive energy weapons that fired devastating beams at Earth's orbit. Entire fleets of human satellites and defense drones were obliterated in seconds. Alex's stomach twisted as he watched destruction unfold. "Don't panic," she urged, sensing his fear. "Use strategy, not brute force. Outthink them, not just outrun them." Alex thought quickly. He noticed that the beams, though powerful, had a cyclical pattern. If timed right, there were brief windows of safety where counterattacks could be launched. He instructed Earth's remaining defense teams to maneuver in staggered formations, drawing the alien ships into traps. Then came the most daring part of his plan. A human-crewed ship would act as bait. It would draw the alien fleet into an ambush coordinated with drones and energy weapons, guided by Alex. The risk was immense. One mistake could mean the destruction of the ship and its crew. "Are you sure about this?" the alien beauty asked, her voice carrying concern. The The humans, they are capable, Alex said firmly. They can follow instructions, adapt, and survive. They just need guidance. Trust me. The bait ship moved into position, and the alien fleet followed. Alex and the alien beauty coordinated every move, every timing, every calculation. When the trap was sprung, the alien ships faltered, caught off guard by human ingenuity and creativity. One by one, they were disabled, retreating in confusion. Alex felt his heart pounding, adrenaline surging through him. Earth's defenses, guided by human intuition and strategy, had held. It was the first real victory, small but significant. We did it, he breathed, looking at the alien beauty. Yes, she said, a proud smile spreading across her face. You did it. Humanity is not weak. You adapted, improvised, and overcame. That is what I hoped you would see. That is why I returned. But the celebration was brief. In the distance, the main alien fleet continued to advance, larger and more coordinated than any previous wave. Alex realized this was only the beginning. The true test was yet to come. Over the next hours, Alex continued to coordinate Earth's defenses, each encounter pushing him to think faster, adapt quicker, and trust human instincts more. Every small victory strengthened his belief in humanity's potential. Every failure taught him new lessons, and through it all, the alien beauty guided him, offering knowledge, encouragement, and occasional reminders that fear was natural, but courage and ingenuity defined survival. As night fell on Earth, Alex gazed down at the planet from the observation platform. Cities twinkled like distant stars, oblivious to the battles in orbit, and yet he felt connected to every human below. Every scientist, soldier, and civilian, unaware of the war, was part of a species capable of greatness, of survival, of adaptation. You see now, she said, standing beside him, why I returned. Humans are underestimated across galaxies, but that underestimation is your advantage. You can surprise, adapt, and endure in ways others cannot predict. And tonight, you showed it. Alex nodded, determination burning in his chest. We'll keep fighting. We'll find a way. Earth will survive. Yes, she agreed. And I will be here to guide you. But remember, Alex, your greatest weapon is not technology, not weapons, not advanced ships. It is your humanity, your courage, your creativity, your resilience. That is what will tip the balance in this war. Never forget it. The stars around them pulsed as if acknowledging her words. Alex realized that this was no ordinary fight. It was a proving ground. For him, for humanity, for the species he belonged to. The universe was vast, full of threats and wonders alike, and humans, despite being young and seemingly fragile, had the power to endure and triumph against impossible odds. The alien fleet continued to advance, but Alex no longer felt helpless. He felt prepared, empowered, and alive. With the alien beauty at his side and humanity's ingenuity guiding his actions, he knew they had a chance, not just to survive, but to thrive. And as the first glimmers of dawn appeared on Earth, Alex understood something profound. The fight was far from over, but humans would rise. They would endure. They would adapt. And they would prove once again that underestimation of humanity was the universe's greatest mistake. Alex turned to the alien beauty, his eyes blazing with resolve. Then we fight. For Earth. For humans. Oh. For survival. Let's show them what we're capable of. She smiled, a mixture of pride and hope lighting her alien features. Yes, Alex. Together, we will show them. Together, humanity will rise. And somewhere in the vastness of space, the first ripple of change spread. The knowledge that humans were not only survivors, but challengers, innovators, and warriors. And the universe, vast and indifferent, had never faced a species quite like them,